Hello and welcome to Games from Folktales, a podcast that mixes historical research and tabletop role-playing settings. I'm your host, Timothy Ferguson. This week, who brings Christmas presents to the Order of Hermes? Each community in Mythic Europe has a slightly different story about who brings gifts to children at Christmas time. Let's not review them here when David Sedaris has done such a brilliant job. If you haven't listened to 6 to 8 Black Men, go do that now. Seriously, pause this. Actually, no, don't. His work's a lot more interesting than this, so it will make this sound terrible. Listen to this first, and then go somewhere and listen to 6 to 8 Black Men. Stories have power in Mythic Europe because they attract fairies. Powerful stories allow fairies to affect whole communities. Being invited in makes communities even more vulnerable to the Fae. Dozens of little kiddies leaving out milk for a jolly old elf is a ridiculously bad idea, unless it has been so tied up in a safe story that it can't do any harm. The problem is that medieval people are terrible to their kids. Mythic Europe is full of mystical guys who hurt kids on the naughty list. Some steal naughty children. God himself has some children torn limb from limb by bears for sassing a bald prophet in the Bible. So it's important to have a consistent, safe story. This is the story of Black-Faced Hermes. Now, blackface is, for American gamers, a particularly problematic term. Black-Faced Hermes, however, isn't a god in blackface. He's an ancient Greek god who steals children, particularly weird, wicked children, and he often does it by coming down the chimney and getting covered in soot, which is where the name comes from. To get rid of the problematic term, you may prefer to call him Hermes Hagiaios, which means Hermes who snatches away. So, apprentices leave out items for this fairy because he is the fairy who steals gifted children and leaves them at the doorstep of covenants. He really likes chickens. They're encouraged to place their gifts for him outside the Aegeus, for obvious reasons. As a patron of games and sports, he is best propitiated in spaces dedicated to these pursuits. Similarly, children receive whatever is left behind by him outside the Covenant's mystical defences. As the spirit of sport and games and mystical initiations, the treasure hunts he leaves may become complex little puzzles where the apprentices need to work together to learn valuable secrets. As a patron of commerce, he can leave valuable gifts. He is, however, thoroughly and childishly amoral, and is the patron of thieves. Like all fairies, he feeds on raw emotional expression, and his gifts can, therefore, be mixed blessings. Merry Christmas.